Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because we're going to jump into my net worth and how I was able to get to a six-figure net worth in under 2 years. So I graduated from college in May of 2019 and we are now in May of 2021. And in that time, I went from having no money, being dirt poor, to having a six-figure net worth. Now, this isn't crazy, I'm not a millionaire, but I am slowly building wealth. And I think the way I'm doing this is very reproducible, and it is a way that you can actually do it too if you're looking to build wealth in a very quick amount of time. So first, we're gonna talk about my portfolio and how it's given me some really good returns over the last couple of years. And then we're gonna talk about how I was able to take advantage of my situation in order to quickly grow my wealth, save a lot of money, and invest a lot of money. This is really important. So first, let's talk about my portfolio. So my portfolio is split into three different areas, I guess four different areas. So I have cash, I have stocks, I have crypto, and I have real estate. Those four things are where all of my money is. So right now I have $24,000 here in my wealthfront account, or that you can see in my different savings accounts. I actually have a little bit more cash than this. I have a couple $1,000s sitting off to the side in case there's a run on the banks or something and I need to get access to that money. Now, in addition to that, I have some investments. I have a Roth IRA, I have an IRA, and I have a 401k. Then I also have some stocks in Robinhood. So my IRA, my Roth IRA are both through Wealthfront. Wealthfront does a good job at managing these. I'm more interested in actively doing my Robinhood account, but this is where I have my retirement stuff that I don't touch, I don't look at. I just have all my money funneled into it. It's a lot of index funds. It's a lot of broad market stuff. We have domestic and foreign and all that good stuff. Wealthfront is a really good way to get started if you don't know anything about investing and you don't know what you want to invest in. I'll put a link down in the description so you can figure that out. Anyway, on to the next thing, my Robinhood account. My Robinhood account is the most fun part that I have in investing because it's where I've made the majority of my money. Now, I do have some money in stocks. I bought near the bottom in March of 2020, which is why my returns seem so high, but I also bought some cryptos on Robinhood. Now, I don't recommend buying cryptos on Robinhood now. I recommend using Voyager. It's what I use for all my current crypto trading, but I bought some on Robinhood back in the day because I was just like, oh, a couple $100. And I actually said I was gonna sell it, but I didn't. I decided not to sell it. And instead of selling it for $150 a coin for Ethereum, it's over $3,000 today, which is pretty crazy. And my returns have been really good. That $250 investment is now over $7,000. And as you can see, this has really helped my wealth grow much quicker than if I wouldn't have had some of these insane returns. That being said, most of my wealth isn't in crypto. I have much more in stocks and real estate than I do in crypto. So it's not the reason for all of my wealth momentum. Anyway, the next area is real estate. So real estate has been a big portion of my wealth now because I bought a house recently. I did some work on the house and pushed up its value a little bit. I think I have like $40,000 of equity approximately in my house. So that's where a lot of this money is coming from. I also have a few other stocks that you can't see here that push my net worth up a little bit more too. And that's because I got these stocks the old fashioned way where you just call the brokerage and say, hey, I want to buy the stock, or not even the brokerage, the company. So I have some Duke Energy stock. It's about $2,000 as well. So all in all, I do have $100,000 of assets. You can only see about $95,000 of them here. I do have another $1,000, give or take, of crypto that I have in Voyager that I'm slowly averaging into every month. But yeah, so this is my assets, this is my investments, and I've seen good returns because I got into the market at an optimal time. That being said, I've also invested a lot of money and saved a lot of money to be able to do this. So when it comes to growing your wealth, there are two basic parts: saving money and making money. If you save more and you spend less, you're gonna end up with more money over time. So when it came to me and how I view money, I asked myself, how can I get the biggest return on investment? So there's a few different things that I did here. Number one is I've pretty much eliminated my housing costs over the course of my life. I haven't really had to pay a lot for housing. That's most people's biggest expense. I don't have any loans, so I don't have to pay any interest to anyone other than my mortgage now. But that's nice because I am saving all that money that I would be spending on interest and investing it. For example, I don't have any college debt. And I made this decision deliberately because I didn't want to take on college debt because I knew it would hurt me long-term financially. So when I was looking at colleges, I looked at three different schools. I looked at the University of Louisville, University of Purdue, and Rolls-Holman. All of these were great schools, but going to University of Louisville, I had the best chance of getting out of school debt-free. Now, I did have some scholarships, but it wasn't so much to cover all of my school. I had to work throughout my time in school. This is really important because I was working like 30 hours a week, but between that and my scholarships and my internships that I did, I was able to pay for my school and get out of school debt free. So this is the number one thing that I would recommend if you are getting started, or if you're younger and you're watching this, try not to take on school debt. It's enabled me to put all my money into investments and see some really nice returns rather than funneling money into that debt and not getting phenomenal returns. Now, the next thing we talk about, eliminating housing costs. When I was in college, I was an RA, not my freshman year, but the years after. This was really important because one, it eliminated my housing costs, and two, it paid for my meals. If you can do this, it just lowers your costs so much that it's really nice. After that, I moved to Houston, Texas, and I was living in an apartment there, and I actually rented out an air mattress in my living room of my 600 square foot apartment to a guy, and it covered pretty much my entire rent. I was staying in the bedroom, and by doing that, I eliminated my rent for a few months. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I don't have to pay rent, I don't have to pay a mortgage, I can just invest all this money. So that's when I really got the snowball going for investing. Fast forward a few months, I decided to move back near Louisville, Kentucky, and I bought a house. I bought a 5-bedroom house. I'm living in one of the bedrooms. I'm renting out 3 of the bedrooms, and the 5th bedroom is now my office or the studio that you see here. This is really important because it's covering the cost of my mortgage, which is allowing me to continue to invest, grow money, and really take advantage of my financial position. Now, this is really important to understand because there are two key things here that I'm doing. I am making more by eliminating my cost of living, but I'm also investing the difference. A lot of people will make a small financial decision that is very good and very beneficial, but then instead of it reinvesting their earnings, they go and spend it on something that they don't really need. And what they're doing there is they're eliminating their ability to compound their returns. Now, by getting this money and investing this money, I'm seeing the effects of compound returns much more. So now that I have $100,000 in assets, if I see a 10% return next year, that's an extra $10,000. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, that's a lot of money. That's so much money. Like that's more money than I would have ever dreamed of having back, 2 years ago when I was in school. And this is because minimum wage in the US, if you're working a minimum wage job full time at $7.25, you're gonna be making about $20,000 a year. So by working really hard, saving all my money and implementing these strategies to grow my income and reduce my expenses, next year, if I get average returns, I'll basically be working almost a full-time minimum wage job, especially as I continue to invest and if those investments see these same compounding returns. Pretty soon, my assets will pay for a full-time minimum wage job and then more on. So this is really important. These are some things that I've done. I also have taken a little bit of a different approach in building my portfolio. So my portfolio is part crypto, part stocks, and part real estate. And I chose these things very specifically. Stocks offer good returns, real estate offers good returns, crypto is more of a mystery. It's offered phenomenal returns recently, but it was really hard to tell if it would be good or not good. And so what I did is I just put a small percentage of my investments into crypto. And those investments have exploded and went from a few $100s to several $1,000s. But my stocks, on the other hand, I put $4,000 into VTI or something close to that, and now it's at 6,000, maybe 6,500, I don't know exactly. But my crypto returns have been so much better. So for me, investing is about two things. One, I want to protect my principal, so I'm not losing that money, but I also want exposure to high return investments. These might be more risky because cryptocurrencies could go to zero tomorrow, but not being invested in them, I would be missing out on so much potential for huge gains. So these are my strategies. And then again, real estate allows you to take advantage of leverage. Leverage is risky because it requires you to take on debt, but if you can do it correctly, you can get rid of all of your expenses for almost no extra risk, right? By buying a house and living in it and renting out those rooms, you can get in for almost no money, and you can eliminate your living expenses, which is most people's biggest expense. Along with that, I would say avoid bad debt. If debt is going to make you more money, then okay, I understand that. But avoid bad debt. Be cognizant of your spending. A lot of people suffer from lifestyle creep as they make more money, but I'm living the same way now that I did back in college. I have this shirt, my parents got it for me when I was in high school. So this shirt is like 7 or 8 years old, and I'm still wearing it because it's a fine shirt and it does the job. So be careful about spending your money on things that you don't need, because now that I haven't done that, I'm seeing these bigger financial returns, but I've also had to make sacrifices, right? I chose not to always go out on the weekends, or I chose to skip on certain things that I wanted, but I didn't need, and I knew it would be fleeting, right? Because I think I do this a lot, and a lot of other people do this, where they really want something, so they buy it, and then 2 weeks later, they never use it again. So I've really cut back on that. I don't really spend money on things that are material possessions unless I know that it's something I'll use all the time. For example, I bought a camera that I use for YouTube, and I use it every week when I'm recording videos. I use my laptop, I use my TV, I use things like this, and I spend a ton of money on books, right? You can see my bookshelf here. I spend a ton of money on books, but that's where my money goes. So I know what I'm spending. I know how much I'm spending. I'm not spending money on things that I don't need. Spend money on things that will make you happy, not on things that you're gonna try to use to impress other people. By doing that, I've saved so much money, and it's allowed me to really grow my wealth quickly over time. So I hope you found this video useful. If I could suggest anything, eliminate your expenses the most you can, increase your income as much as you can, stay out of debt, and be cognizant when you're choosing a career, because you want something that has low overhead and high income potential. Now, obviously, if you have a dream that you want to chase, that's important. You need to feel fulfilled at work, but pay attention, because you don't want to be one of the people who takes on $100,000 or $200,000 of debt and then makes $30,000 a year, and then you have to pay back $800 a month in student loans. It's not sustainable. Imagine how much money you would make if you were investing that money instead. It's mind-boggling. So these are just a few of my tips. Keep your expenses low, try to earn more, invest the difference. Investing the difference is key. I'm living on well under half my income, and I'm investing a lot, but my returns have been really good. But if I hadn't been investing that, then I would be missing out on 20 or 30% of my net worth, because my returns have been so good. Now, thankfully, I haven't sold any of these yet, so they're not taxable. And if I was going to sell them, I would take a big tax hit. But I'm just going to hold on to them for the long term and try to continue to grow more wealth. I'm currently looking at more properties right now. I'm going to buy a rental property soon. And additionally, I'm investing about $100 a month into cryptocurrencies, and I'm investing about $1,000 a month into the stock market. So if you do the same thing, you'll see your wealth grow very quickly over time. And I wish the best for you, because the first $100,000 is the hardest. After that, compounding gets on your side. You're going to see more returns with less work. And I'm almost to the point now where if I really didn't invest anymore, I would probably be okay by the time retirement came around, because I've worked so hard to get money into the market right now. Now, obviously, some of this money is just sitting to the side. About a quarter of my net worth is just in cash, but I need to have an emergency fund in case something goes wrong. So I would just, that's all that I'm thinking. So anyway, I don't want to ramble. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you found this informative or useful, or hopefully it inspires you to take control of your finances. I wasn't in the position where my parents paid for my school or where anything else did that. I just took what I could do and did the most with what I could. And when you're going on this journey for financial independence, people will look at you like you're crazy. People will look at you like you don't know what you're doing, or that you don't have fun. But you can have fun. You just have to be strategic with how you do it. And remember, you are making different choices today so you can live differently tomorrow. And people will one day be angry with you because you'll be in the 1%, but you got there from making good decisions. So my hope through this is, it's not to brag, it's not to show what I've got, but it's hopefully to give you a framework and a roadwork that you can follow in order to reach the same goal that I have. I know for me, when I was getting started, I would watch YouTubers like Graham Stephan, Andre Jick, Meet Kevin, those guys who would do videos like this, and it would help me figure out how I could make money, how I could grow my net worth, and how I could chase financial independence. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like the video if you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below. I'm looking for new video ideas. So with that being said, until next time, peace.